the big conversation is about the goaltending. You have basically the two top options for Team USA in the Olympics in 2026, Oettinger versus Hellebuyck. And the conversation, I think, is which of these goalies gets the edge in the starter crease come February, March of next winter, I guess. So, Justin, your thoughts first. If you're picking the goalie right now, maybe why would you pick which goalie and who would that be?
Well, for me personally, I'm going Jake Oettinger.
Okay.
I would be starting Jake Oettinger if it was game one of the Olympics, not preliminary tournament, but the actual tournament tomorrow. I will give credit. I think Puck Empire or Panos, whatever he pronounce or whichever way he wants to be referred to. He's the one who actually started this conversation. I think it's actually a very good conversation to have because, like, Connor Hellebuyck is playing himself out of that starting role, in my personal opinion. Like, you go back to Four Nations, like he loses that game to Canada, like with arguably what people said was the better roster. USA had the better roster. He gets beat glove side against Connor McDavid, and that wasn't even close. If you go to this Dallas series, where is Dallas beating him? Do you guys know?
I assume it's glove side, Justin. I'm not sure.
All basically every single goal is glove side against him. Like
That's tough.
It's everyone kind of like has the book on him, and I don't know if it's like I forget if it was a 0.2 or 0.10 of a second difference from the regular season to the playoffs and his reaction time with his glove. But his glove in the regular season is pretty good. Like it's not bad. It's not below standard. But it's in the playoffs for some reason, or these big time games. It's just his glove side just seems to be a weakness that everyone seems to be attacking, and they're scoring goals off of it. I think Jake Oettinger on the other side, who has proven to be a really good goalie, not the best goalie in the world, but I would say he's better in the clutch performer, better in the clutch moments. Like he was in the Western Conference Finals. He's been to the Stanley Cup Finals as well. Year after year in the playoffs, he shows up, he shows out in the playoffs. And you can't say that for Hellebuyck. So I think right now, like you're seeing, like Jake Oettinger probably earn, and he's already come out and said it himself, like that's his goal. Like he wants to be the starter for Team USA at the Milan Olympics. Like it's not like any secret to anyone he doesn't think. Like it's just a battle of the beasts, and I really do think that Jake Oettinger at this point would be the starting goalie of Team USA. I don't know, Brandon, do you feel the same way? Like, do you think Hellebuyck's still got the number one starting role for them, or what?
I do. I do think it would be Hellebuyck if we were going to fast forward now. I think there is a case to be made for Oettinger to definitely play in that tournament. I think if, it's not a Four Nations situation. I think the Olympics,
right,
you're going to probably try to get both guys in because if an injury happens or something, I think that will be pre-tournament games. Like there will be an opportunity where Oettinger can show himself on that stage as well. But I think if you look at, unless Oettinger, if they go on to get to the cup final and they win the cup and he looks unbelievable, like I think that brings his chances up. But if you're asking me today, with everything going on, Hellebuyck's winning the Vezina, he's possibly going to win the Hart Trophy. Like I don't think even if he were to have a complete stinker in Game 5 and they lose 4-0, and I don't think there's anything right now beyond an injury. As long as he continues to, if he comes into next season and again has momentum going into the Olympics, I think they'd be hard pressed for the U.S. team to go with Oettinger just because of what Hellebuyck represents in terms of his career, what he's done in terms of hardware. Obviously, the playoffs success hasn't really been there, but if I asked either of you guys, to pick the better team, I think we would all say Dallas. So in terms of Hellebuyck not standing on his head and giving Winnipeg their best chance, I can't blame him completely for that, but I would definitely say that he's had a tough time in the playoffs. If they didn't have a Four Nations, Justin, and he got beat by McDavid there in overtime or whatever, but I don't think Hellebuyck had a bad tournament. They beat Canada in the first game. Like, I thought he played well enough, and that might be the one thing that they can look at and say, hey, he just did this recently. He gives us the best chance to whatever play with Canada or whoever else they're looking at. But yeah, like if Oettinger had gotten into a game and maybe he became the starter in that tournament or something like that, 100% would have changed the way I look at this. But I think just the way that things are stacking up right now, I think it's Hellebuyck's net to lose in a crazy scenario or something. But yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think I've been flip-flopping, but I think if it's today specifically, I still think I'm going Connor Hellebuyck. I think he's just built up so much goodwill in the net over the past couple years, and I know sample sizes are important, but obviously the Olympic environment mimics that of the playoffs, and he hasn't been the strongest playoff performer. But you make a good point, Brandon, about how when you look at the rosters, both teams, Canada and the US, are going to be stacked. And not to discount any of the other country teams, all of them are going to be stacked. So it's like playing with a Dallas in front of you. And if you swap goalies right now, let's say Hellebuyck for Dallas and Oettinger for Winnipeg, I don't think Oettinger steals any victories just as much as Connor Hellebuyck would easily cruise onto a Stanley Cup championship on Dallas. So I think that's the best way you could put it. I think Oettinger has definitely a chance to supersede that of Hellebuyck. And I think another factor, which isn't even a conversation because we're looking at right now, is it's a what have you done for me lately league. And by the time the actual Olympics roll around next year, Oettinger could be on an absolute tear. Hellebuyck could be, win loss, could be on a bit of a drought, and that's the decision. Whoever is hot to play next year will be the choice. So it's a moot point, but it's a fun conversation to have, and I think it's tighter than it was at the beginning of the year. But I'd still think Hellebuyck is the choice. He's just built up too much confidence on probably the USA roster, and he was the first. He was the Four Nations guy. So you ride with who you brought to the dance type thing. You dance with who you brought to the prom type thing. I think is the saying. We'll just go with it.